Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm painting tulips, and if you would like to paint along with me, you can download the sketch at etsy.com/shop/CarolAnnsArt123. Once you've downloaded the sketch, you can use it as many times as you like and experiment a bit. I'm using acrylics for this painting, but you could use water mixable oils, watercolor, almost anything really that you can think of that you'd like to use, colored pencils. Experiment. I'm using titanium white, cadiello light, raw sienna, raw umber, French ultramarine blue, sap green and alizarin crimson. I usually use primary yellow. I'm painting on 140-pound mixed media paper. You can use any support you like, canvas panel, masonite panel, just about anything. Gesso it first to give you a nice smooth background, and you're ready to go. I'm using the French ultramarine blue and titanium white, lots of white, to give me a pale blue for the background. Well, say this is sitting on a windowsill, and you can see the sky in the background. That sort of shows up the tulips quite a bit. My tulips are in a glass vase. And to make glass look glassy, you have to be able to see through it. You have to be able to see what's in the background. And so I'm painting the sky across the glass, and you can see that it makes it look as though you're looking through the glass at the sky. I've decided my tulips are going to be pink, and I've mixed alizarin with titanium white and a touch of raw sienna, which brings the red down and makes it a softer pink color. I'm putting in an all over mid-tone, and I'll be highlighting and putting in a shadow using the alizarin and the titanium white. For the most part, I pull in the petals from the outer edge down to the base, as I'm doing here. I've mixed in some blue here, and I'm not sure about this color. And but sometimes, like with these tulips, they sort of got a round base. I found I was a little bit odd about how I applied the paint. But it doesn't really matter. It's acrylic paint. You can paint over it. If you're not happy with anything in acrylics, paint over it. If you're not sure about the color, you can use titanium white or gesso, just straight gesso, and paint over a patch of your painting. and then repaint it. I've done that with many of my paintings. I've stood back and decided I don't like one whole half or one whole quarter of a painting. I'll paint gesso over it if I'm using acrylics and then repaint it. It's so easy to do. I picked up some new brushes from Michael's, and as long as they're for acrylics, they're not bristles. I do use some bristle brushes, but these, as you can see, are level 1, and this is a number 4 flat, which means it's like a ½ inch flat. And I really don't give a hoot what level they are for. As long as I can use them with acrylics, I'll use them. I'm using a liner brush and raw sienna just to sketch in the stems. Those will change colours because I think tulip stems are green. I'm pretty sure they are. And I will add green, yellow, maybe even a touch of red to liven things up. I'm mixing a nice middle of the road green from my leaves, and I'm making the paint quite thin so that it doesn't entirely cover up the sketch beneath, and that way I can see where to apply my shadow for the underside of the leaf. And once I've got those in, I can apply a thicker layer. I use straight titanium white for the glass, and the straight white goes on the side the light is bouncing off, and I add a little French ultramarine blue to make a blue line for the opposite side for the reflected light. That looks quite natural to my eye. I'm using raw sienna for my windowsill. I don't make a big fuss of things like windowsills. I might add some raw umber in there, or a touch of red, something just to give a little texture to it. But it will consist mainly of raw sienna, and I paint it through the glass. You can see it through the glass. Anything that is in the background is going to be seen through the glass. That's what makes it look glassy. And I will add some reflections, a window reflection into the glass using titanium white. And the edges I generally pull around the glass to give it that round quality. I mean that I use a flat brush and pull the edges horizontally round, as you see here. I did say I was going to paint my tulips pink, and I don't know how this one got to be the way it was. I think it's going to be a difficult tulip. I'll just have to keep plugging away. Sometimes you do that, something doesn't go right, you try it 2 or 3 times. Eventually, if you try hard enough, it'll become how you want it to be. The leaves and the petals will reflect in the glass, so I'm adding some pink, and as you can see, some of the green sort of smears in with it. I really like water mixable oils for that. The colours almost mix right on the canvas. You have to work a little harder to bring the acrylic paints into line, but they do very nicely. I wanted the tulips all to look slightly different, so I've got very slightly different pinks, I hope, and the 2 lower ones are open more so that you see the stamens inside. You don't see that in the 2 upper ones. I believe I've got the balance of pinks correct here, and I'm adding pink to the glass because the flowers themselves are reflected in the glass, and I'll adjust it as I go along. Maybe it's a little too dark now. I'll add a little white or a paler pink to it to bring it down in places. From here on out, once you've got all the paints on the canvas, it's a matter of adjusting here and there as you go along. And I think this particular flower is a bit too big. The thing to do is to stand back and look at your painting every now and then and see where you need to make the adjustments. And I do that. Usually I take 10 minutes or so, have a cup of tea, and stare at the painting and see what I want to do to it. With acrylics, you have to make sure that your acrylics don't dry up. They dry very fast, so I usually put a wet paper towel over them. I lay paper towel across them and spray it down, and that's good to keep the paints usable for quite a while afterwards. 10-15 minutes anyway. I mixed in some French ultramarine blue with the green, and I'm reinforcing my stems. I think that I may add some yellow to the sap green and put some light on the stems as well as I go along. It's just a case of tweaking things now. I'm taking a break here and I'm going to lay a tissue on the paints and spray it down, and it will keep for a good 10 minutes or so. I decided the rose on the right hand side was just too large. It had overgrown and I needed to get back to the original size of the sketch. So I laid the tracing over the painting just to get my eye in, and I won't retrace the tulip, although you could do that. I'll simply lay the tracing beside my painting and just work on it to see if I can't get it back to how it looked in the original sketch. So you can see that even though I've managed to make the petals look bigger, the flower itself is out of all proportion to the other flowers in the vase. So I have to do something about that. If the paint is still wet enough, you can use a damp tissue and wipe those areas away, but I think I'm just going to paint over that area because it was a bit dry. So I'm using French ultramarine blue with some titanium white. I'm just going to try and match it with the sky above. As the paints dry, they dull down a little bit, especially the whites, so I'm constantly reinforcing my highlights. And to set the vase on the table so that it doesn't look like it's floating, I use raw umber, and that will give the shadow of the glass underneath. And I've used titanium white just to give a reflection in the table, in the windowsill. Forgot. It could be a table though. Using my cad yellow light, I've mixed in a paler green for the highlight on my leaves. I want to say you should think of the sketch as a guideline more than anything else. If you think a leaf should be longer, a stem shorter, too many flowers, you want to take one out, well, go right ahead. If you want to change the shape of the vase, it's all good. The time to do that is before you put it on the support. On your tracing paper, before you transfer it to your canvas, your paper, your whatever you're painting on. In these half-open flowers, you see the little stamens. I'm using raw umber to put those in. I think I've mixed a little sap green in with it. You just need a dark colour, really. It doesn't really matter what you use. You could use French ultramarine blue and it would still look good. I think this is more or less done. I'm just adjusting my highlights on the petals. Really, I can't see much more to do to this painting. I think we'll call it done here. Well, I'm pretty pleased with that. I finally managed to get all the flowers of similar size and the pinks all compatible. And I like the way the leaves are slightly curled and have a nice shady side to them. And I'm pretty happy with the stems and the reflection in the vase. There is one thing I'm not quite sure about, but I'm not going to change, and that is the bottom of the vase seems to have taken on a squareness. But hey, all adds character. That's how I feel about it, and I'm not prepared to do anything about it right now. I like the reflection of the vase in the sill top, and I'm okay with the sky. It's not an even blue, but it may be a cloudy day with a few fluffy white clouds in there. Who's to say? So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you painted along with me and enjoyed that too. And thank you very much for watching. And I think I'm going to paint daffodils next time. It's a little late for them, but it's March. Actually, it's probably ideal if you're in England. Daffodils are probably out all over the place. And so I'll paint daffodils in my next video. And then after that, I think I'll be into either a landscape or a seascape. We'll see how it goes. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later, or I see you later. Bye. I forgot to say, you can buy the original painting on eBay at CarolAnnsArt. And don't forget, you can buy the sketch if you want to paint along with me at Etsy, CarolAnnsArt 123. Bye for now.